So I realized that we've been speaking quite a lot about relationships on this channel recently. We've been chatting all things dating and love and how to find a woman with good qualities and good traits so that you can hopefully end up in a healthy, happy relationship. But most importantly, how to become the kind of man that you can respect and honor, how to become the kind of man that is worthy and deserving of a healthy, loving relationship with a good woman, a really good quality woman. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there right now that are like, okay, bro, we chatted about love enough. Let's leave the girls alone and let's go over to the other self-improvement stuff. And I agree with you. I think it is time to kind of start focusing on the other things again. So we'll be moving on to that shortly. But I thought I'd leave you with one kind of last not really the final message, but something that I learned today that was quite interesting to me, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of value. But essentially, I was at the petrol station this morning. For those of you who live in the States, I'm essentially getting gas, right? And the petrol attendant came and spoke to me, and we usually have quite good banter, we laugh and we chat. And he came up to the window and he looked at the passenger seat, because I was by myself, I was on the way to work. And so he looked at the passenger seat and he goes, oh, where's the girlfriend, where's the wife? And we obviously laugh, and I say, no, bro, women are too much headache, just all the jokes. And I don't mean that, ladies. But, we banter, and I say, no, too much work. I'm not ready for that right now. I'm not in the stage of life. There's so much for me to work on, and I'm focusing on the business, focusing on myself. And I'm just coming up with like every excuse, right, as to why I'm not currently in a serious relationship. And eventually this guy looks me dead in the eye. He looks at me and he goes, but my brother, how are you supposed to learn? And at first I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny, he's making a banter joke, whatever, and I'm laughing, making up more excuses. And then he's like, no, my brother, how do we learn if we don't experience them? And I don't know, something about that phrase just it's stuck in my head. And I thought about it a lot today. And I just realized that he is so right. He was so right, because the simple fact is that we come to relationships to learn. We come to them to discover more about ourselves and parts of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. But we come to learn, to become better people, to love and to experience. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. But I think for a lot of men out there, and listen, if this is you, don't worry, bro. This is me 2 times on Sunday. This is me all the time. But throughout my life, I've always treated relationships as though they are goals. And I think it's a very masculine thing to do, right? As a man, you kind of have this drive you set a goal and you achieve it. It must be structured, it must be specific. So instead of coming to a relationship to learn and to love and to experience, you go in it with this goal mentality, like this girl, must get her as my girlfriend, must take her on dates, must, marry her, must have children. There's goals to this shit. And I think as men, we so often fall into this trap, and it's dangerous because we forget the true nature of why we get into the relationships in the first place. It's because we learn through those relationships. We learn our faults, we learn our shortcomings, I would argue it is the place that we learn the most about self-improvement is through our relationships. It's when we mess up. It's when we get into a relationship where we could have been better people, but we had to go through that relationship to learn the hard lesson. Because sometimes to get to that next step or that next stage of who you are becoming, that ideal version of yourself, you need to go through that hard time. You need to go through those relationships that teach you those hard lessons. And I think if we could keep this mindset in mind and just remember that it's not about perfection. It's not about achieving the goal or getting that goal. It's not about having a successful interaction or, there's all these goals that we have when it comes to relationships. I think we would be a lot better off and a lot happier if we just keep in mind that at the end of the day, it's just one big, beautiful experience. And you need to be mindful and grateful for all of the relationships that you're blessed enough to experience, that you're blessed enough to have and meet these people. You meet a girl and you might think that she's the most amazing person you've ever met. And she could be the future mother of your children, who knows? But at the same time, it's just beautiful that you get to experience that woman in the first place, for whatever that relationship might be. Maybe it doesn't end up being a long-term thing. Maybe you fall madly in love for 2 months and then it just comes crashing and burning down. And it sucks. I really wish I could tell you that all relationships work out, but it's that whole cheesy quote, some people are here for a season, some for a reason. And I think it's just important to be grateful for both of those and not just to prioritize oh, I must just prioritize the long term, the one. We fall into this mindset of the one. But every relationship is beautiful. Every relationship, whether romantic or platonic or whatever, it's here to teach you something. And it's here to make you learn all about yourself so that you can become not only a better man, but a better human being. How are you supposed to learn if you keep running away from relationships, if you don't open yourself up and you don't experience the beauty that is love and friendship and romance and just all that good stuff? So open yourself up. Remember that we're all here to learn. Nobody's perfect. And what better way to learn than by loving others? Because I feel like that, at the end of the day, that is what we're here to do.